Hi guys, welcome to the interactive plotting exercise overview lecture. It's time to practice our skills using Plotly. We are going to work with three datasets in this exercise: 2016 World Happiness Data, 2012 United States Election Dataset, and Alcohol Consumption by Country in 2010. In the previous lecture, we have seen that for the simple interactive plots, the Plotly's syntax is very easy. However, for the choropleth maps, the code is little complicated, and this is how the choropleth works in Plotly. The good thing is, you don't need to memorize the code. You can always reference to the Plotly's cheat sheet or Plotly's documentation page on choropleth. A copy of cheat sheet is provided in the course material, and you can follow the link below to explore the full documentation on choropleth. So let's move on and start with 2012 World Happiness Dataset. The dataset is available on Kaggle for you guys to download. However, a CSV file is also included in the course material, in case you do not have access to the internet. Let's have a quick overview on the exercises, and in the next lecture, we will go through the tasks together to solve the questions. So, in the first cell, he is asking to import these important libraries. So run the code in the cell below to import important libraries and to use Plotly and cufflinks offline within the Jupyter Notebook. So you need to run this cell in which we are importing pandas, and then we are importing some libraries for offline Plotly and cufflinks. The next question is, run the code below to read word happiness data in HP. So you need to run this cell and you are going to get your dataset in HP. Moving forward, you need to check the head of your data frame. Should be very simple now. And the next one, call info on your data frame HP. So you see you have 157 entries with 13 columns in your data frame. So moving forward, if you notice, you have columns in the data frame that are float and int type, like float and int type. Use for loop along with dot as type method to convert them to string. And hint is given, you did the same thing in the previous lecture. So you can go through the previous lecture once again and write the for loop here. So moving forward, the next question is, run the cell below with info on your data frame HP to see the difference in the data type now. So if you notice, you don't have floats and ints anymore. Now our data frame is ready to create a text column. So the next one he's asking for, recall the previous lecture where we created a text column for US exports dataset to summarize the volume of the exports in a single column. The text column hovered on the map when we moved the cursor. So let's create a similar column text for the word happiness dataset. The code is given and he is asking to run the code in the cell below to create the text column containing information from the following columns: country, happiness rank, happiness score, freedom, generosity, and trust. You can consider other columns as well while creating a text column. But in this case, we are not going to consider other columns. We are just going to consider those columns what he is asking for. So the code is given, and I hope you still remember how to create a new column in your data frame. So HP is our data frame. Text is the column name that we want in our data frame, and it is going to be the new column in our data frame. Then we're grabbing the column country, happiness rank, happiness score, freedom, and so on individually, and then using plus sign to concatenate the information required. This symbol is for the line break, whereas this one backslash is a line continuation character. So the code is long and we are using this character for line continuation, whereas this BR is going to help us for line break when the information will hover on the map. So you just need to run this cell and then you need to check the head of the data frame. And if you see, you are getting this new column in your data frame. Moving forward, the next one is create a line plot for happiness rank versus health, freedom, and trust. He's asking a question: do you think people living in happier countries have better health? So you can answer this question once you have the plot. So you have to recreate this plot. Moving forward, recreate the plot below. Hint is kind is bar. This is a bar plot. You have to recreate this plot. You have countries along x-axis and trust on the government along the y-axis. And you have to also display the title for the chart. Moving forward, next one is create a choropleth for happiness score that displays the data from the newly generated text column when hover. For this type of plot, you can always reference to the Plotly cheat sheet and copy the code from there. And you can follow the link provided in the beginning of the notebook and explore all the parameters that you need to pass in. So in this case, you have to create a data dictionary and then layout. Once you have data dictionary and layout, you are passing them to go.figure and then using iplot to get the output. So create data dictionary and layout. So if you hover the cursor, you see that all the information in the text column is appearing on the plot. So the next one is what conclusions you can draw from above analysis. You can look at the plots above and suggest some conclusions here. How happiness and all other factors are playing a role in the personal lives of the people. So let's move on and work with the 2012 United States election dataset. So the data file in CSV is given. You need to import that file and then you need to display the head of the data. So moving forward, he's asking to recreate the plot below. Kind is bar, X is state, and Y is voting age population. So you have to recreate this map. Notice that you don't have any title and you don't have any X and Y titles as well. So this is a very simple and basic plot that you have to recreate. The next one he's asking for, now create a plot that displays the voting age population per state. If you later want to play around with other columns, make sure you consider their data types. So the hints are given. In the marker, which is in data dictionary, set the line color to white and its thickness 2 between the states. And in the layout, set show lakes equal to true. So you have to follow this hint and create a data dictionary and layout. And once you have a data dictionary and layout, you can run this code here to get the plot which is given below. If you hover on the plot, you see that California and the voting age population, and you also see the lakes in blue colors. Title for the color bar is voting age population. From this plot, you can figure out what parameters you need to pass in your choropleth. So little more practice. Let's work with the alcohol consumption dataset now. The first thing he's asking for, import pandas and read the CSV file, and the name is given here. You have already imported pandas in the beginning. However, if you want, you can import it again. Moving forward, the next one is display the head of the data frame. So this is your data frame, location and alcohol, 2 columns. Locations are the country names, and alcohol column is the consumption of alcohol for each country in 2010. The next one he's asking for, recreate the bar plot below. So you have to recreate this plot. Notice the title on the plot and X and Y titles. So the next one he's asking for, the above plot is not great for such data. You may want to create a geographical plot. So referencing to the lecture notes, create a choropleth plot for alcohol consumption for countries using the data and layout dictionary. Once again, you need to create a data dictionary and layout dictionary. The plotting code is given. You can run this code and you are going to get the plot below. Try different projection and see if you are going to get the same plot. If you hover on the plot, you see the numbers are appearing like Brazil 8.7, Canada 10.2, and United States 9.2, You notice the alcohol consumption is the title for color bar as well. So once again, from this plot, you can figure out which parameters you are going to pass in the data and layout dictionary. So guys, I hope you will be able to solve all these tasks without the help of the next lecture, which is going to be the solution lecture. In any case, try to solve them before you move on to the next lecture. If you need help, you can always reference to the solution notebook. See you in the next lecture. Good luck.